So let's dive into the today's session. Right, let me share my screen. I think we are halfway through about marketing planning. I think last time we finished with the value chain analysis, right? So this is all about the internal analysis. Yeah. So we in the level one situational analysis, right? Before we do the planning, we have to understand where are we, so what are the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities that I have, that we have as an organization, and then what are the value adding activities that we do, and how we create the value, and what sort of things that we have in us in terms of driving competitive advantage, right? And what we don't have, uh, which others do have, when you're doing competitor activities, and this is that we have to identify what I have and what others don't have, or what others do have I don't have, right? So in terms of value chain activities, I have explained there are two parts. One is the primary activities, the other one is the supportive activities, right? These two go hand in hand, right? In the process of generating value to consumers. If there
Yeah.
is no supporting activities, there will be an impact in terms of getting things done faster, and you will not be
Yeah.
agile, right? And your consumers will not feel that you are adding value, right? In that
Yeah.
case, you are leaving opportunities for competitors, right? And you are not doing your marketing right, right? So when you are
Yeah.
doing the value chain analysis, there are a lot of benefits as an organization you would acquire, right? So benefit number one is uh, so you will be able to add or identify the value adding activities and also non-value adding activities, right? So you are identifying, okay, so these are the critical activities which are continuously adding value.
Mhm.
For example, in an organization, manufacturing organization, materials, key ingredients that needs to be sourced from somewhere, and having that relationship with the supplier is a key value adding activity. Right? So then you have to pay more attention to that. Another example, there is, we'll say, the uh, wristwatch manufacturer like Rolex, right? So there, Rolex has to have the world class craftsmanship inside the organization. So for
Yeah.
you to have that sort of craftsmanship, the technology, the knowledge, right? There has to be a super human resource capability. So they have to invest a lot of money on human
Yeah.
resource. Right? You have
What
upskill them.
what they are key ingredients, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that
Like we can say like primary it's inbound logistic, right?
it's
Like
inbound logistics. Yeah, it's
okay.
inbound. So earlier example is inbound logistics is about you are sourcing your key raw materials, right? Inbound
Mm-hmm.
logistic is very important because the supplier is unique. You need to have that relationship, right? We'll say if
Yes.
that supply is not unique, if that supplier or the ingredient is not unique, it's vastly available, right? It's not that
Yes.
rare in the marketplace. You
Yes.
don't want to pay much attention. You don't want to give more weightage to that.
Yes.
It's not adding, it's adding value, but comparatively, it's low, right?
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
second example is like, Rolex, the craftsmanship, where supportive activities are playing a bigger role. Okay. The craftsmanship is like, how make the product and design it, right? Yeah. So then your supportive activities, like how you manage your human resources, right?
Okay.
Is
Okay.
where human resource management is critical. Yeah.
And the technology.
And the technology, right? So let me give another example. Like this is from uh, Kia Motors, right?
Okay. Okay.
It's a South Korean company, Kia Motors, like back in 2000 till 2006, right? During that period, the vehicle manufacturer, the giant in vehicle manufacturing, Toyota, right? And
Yeah.
some of the other German companies like the Mercedes, right?
Yeah.
And some Japanese companies like Mitsubishi, right? So they were the giants, right?
Yeah.
And bit and pieces in small quantity, like some of the other countries like China started manufacturing,
Yeah.
Malaysia started manufacturing,
Yeah.
India started manufacturing, and
Yes.
also South Korea started manufacturing, right?
Yeah.
So the biggest challenge that South Korea had, like, how you are going to differentiate your product. Car manufacturing giant in Japan, Toyota, they have, like, done all the efficiency improvement, latest management concepts being deployed, like, just in time, Kaizen, right? I think no one can, come even closer to Toyota, right? So, however, a company, uh, which is born in a country where car manufacturing, the technology was not there, know-how was not there, right? And also they are not famous for it.
Yeah.
So they have taken the entire world by storm by introducing Kia, right? And so they introduced fully differentiated models, right? Designs world class, right? Breathtaking designs from them. Yeah. So that is how they. So what they realized was, like, it's not about the technology what matters. It is the design that matters, right? Technology, like, it's available for everyone.
Yeah.
So, like, today, mobile phone, the technology is available for everyone, right? So, car manufacturing, the technology is available for everyone, right? How you differentiate is through design, right? So that is one thing that Kia had learned, right? And continuously driving it. So what they did was, like, so they have hired the best designers, like, in terms of clothing, right? It's not car manufacturer, right? They have hired designers from the clothing industry. So
Yeah.
see how
Yes.
they have, done the transformations. Yeah. And people were saying, so these are mad decisions, like, so they are how they are going to do this, right? But
Yeah.
things has got, completely turned around, unfolded the way that expected, right? And it has given them the real benefit in terms of differentiation. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even today, like, Kia, the vehicles are, totally different in terms of the design, the outer appearance,
Yeah.
and all those things. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So these are the benefits that you will gain by doing the value chain analysis and by driving it. And when you identify, okay, what are the non-value adding activities, right? Even in your primary activities, there could be non-value adding activities.
Yeah.
If you take, like, certain activities which are probably, which can be, when you try to improve the efficiency, it can, generate more value, right? So you will identify the gaps in your value chain, right? So that will help you to enhance the efficiency, improve the efficiency. By doing that, you will be able to enhance the competitive advantage, right?
Okay.
Then the support strategic decision making. Um, if you take any organization, so they are having this value chain, right? Everything that they do, every decision that they are making is based on the value chain, is like, on their value chain, right?
Okay.
So there is no any other decisions beyond the value chain. You have to make decisions for the value chain, right? So if you do a proper value chain analysis, you will be able to identify what are the key issues, key gaps that we have, and all your decision making, strategic decision making will be supported, right? And it
Yeah.
will also, support collaborations. As I explained, like, so you are collaborating with suppliers, you are collaborating with the retailers or your consumers, right? You are collaborating with, maybe supportive institutes like banks, financial institutes, right? Maybe training institutes, right? Your advertising companies, right? So it's much more collaboration is something that you would be able to do by doing the value chain analysis properly. Yeah. So these are some of the examples for the benefits. Yeah. So then let's move on to the external analysis.
Yeah.
It's all about, like, outside the organization. Earlier, the inside the organization. What's happening inside the organization, right? And outside the organization, you have to, see how the environment is changing, right? What's happening to our consumers? What is happening to the economy? What is happening to the world technology? What is happening to the legal environment, right? So everything outside to your organization, you need to do a thorough analysis, need to identify the key trends, right? So that's the keyword. You have to identify the key trends. Yeah. In
Yes.
competitors, in suppliers, distributors, creditors, customers, employees. Um, uh, Again, like, so employees, I'll tell you, like, how come it is internal and external both.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, uh, you know, the talent management. So we have a talent inside the organization, and also there is talent outside the organization, right? So you need to, yeah. So some of the things, like, external analysis that we need to do. These are the key analysis. So what are the external factors which will impact the organization, right?
Okay.
So for example, uh, your industry, right? What sort of, industry that you are in, right? We'll say you are in an industry of, like, printing industry, right? So when you are in printing industry, how much volume that you can generate, how much of volume would help you to, gain economies of scales, right? Meaning,
Okay.
when you do more productions, your per unit cost would come down.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Because your fixed cost
Yeah.
remains unchanged, right?
Yeah.
What will add to your cost is the variable cost only, right?
Yes. Variable
Your
cost.
fixed cost, some of the overhead cost would remain
Mm-hmm.
unchanged. As a result, you will be able to, reduce the per unit cost, right? So you, as
Yeah.
an organization, should be able to identify, okay, what is the economies of scales that I am enjoying currently, and what's the potential that I have, right?
Yeah.
Then the barriers to market entry. So if you are in, in sort of industry, we'll say newspaper
Mm-hmm.
industry, right? So you have great barriers to enter. You can't just like, as a person, you can't, all right, okay, go set up a newspaper agency or a company, yeah, because
Yeah.
there are a lot of,
Lot of
regulations that you need to,
competitors.
yeah, you have to, comply with the legal procedures, right?
Yes.
It's not that easy. Yeah. But
Yeah.
there are certain companies, certain industries rather, you can easily enter. There are no barriers, right? There is no like, huge, we'll say, capital involvement, right? Yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
Sri Lanka, we'll say the tuition field, like, A levels, O levels, tuition field. It's not, there's no barriers at all, right? So there is
Yeah.
no legal framework, right? And anyone can come and play, and there is no a big, capital requirement, right? So
Yeah.
it's easy to enter. But
Yeah.
there are companies, rather industries like, very, very difficult. We'll say toothpaste, dental care,
Yeah.
right? A lot of regulations, not that easy, right? Um, medical industry, medication industry.
Mm-hmm.
I think you have to be an expert. There are legal procedures, right?
Yes.
It's not that easy to enter to those kind of industries, right?
Yeah.
Then in what are the differentiations that you can bring to your product,
Product.
your company? As I explained in Kia scenario, like they have introduced a differentiation. So likewise, what differentiation that you can do in certain markets, certain countries, like you can't do much differentiation. It has been legally banned, right? So you can have one framework or maybe standard specification, right? Which help you to have a consistency
Yeah.
among the competitors, among the players in the industry, right? So it's very important whether you can do much differentiation or not, right? Some countries like you cannot do any differentiation in terms of the price of the product, right?
Yes.
If you are setting the price, it has to be the same price. Like, you can't lower the price or increase the price. It has to be the same price, right?
Yeah.
Then the level of competitiveness, you have to, assess how competitive the market is, right?
And the
More the
product.
competitiveness in the market, lower the cost that you have. You understand that, right?
Yes.
So, so those analysis you need to do the external environment, right? Next, in the external environment, one of the famous models that we use to analyze, especially, um, covering all the factors which will probably have an impact to your operational procedures, like is covered here, right? This is called pestle analysis, right? There, we touch upon the political environment, economical environment, social, technological, environmental, and legal, right? So these are the areas that we touch upon. Okay, let's go one by one. So here we, as an organization, when you are before the planning, we should know what's happening in the political environment, right? Whether the environment is stable, right? Politically, is it an stable country, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So are there new uh, political agendas, right?
Yes.
So what would be the future directions in the political environment? Yeah.
Yes.
So those things you need to have a sort of, understanding, because you're making decisions for the organizations based on, like, what's happening around you, right?
Yeah.
If we'll say in an in a country, if the country is not politically stable, there's a huge risk that you are carrying when it comes to, investing more money
Yeah.
to the business, right? Yeah, is always, unstable, and we never know what's going to happen next, right? So that's what happened to Sri Lanka a few years ago, right?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
it's very, very critical for us to know about the political environment. Then the economical environment. So where we have to, always keep a track on the economical indicators of the country. Like, what's the economic growth, GDP growth,
Yeah.
right? And
Yes.
when there's some money circulations, right? People will spend more money.
Yes.
Then, like, so there will be a sort of, portion would come to your industry. Then you can assess the kind of, the portion that you are getting to the industry, and how much from that portion you are targeting, right? Because that economical environment changes happening in that environment will impact you positively or negatively both, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Then the second one is that um, we'll say, like, what is the inflation rate? It's very
Yes.
important, right? The
Yeah.
rate of inflation, right? What is the exchange rate of the country,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
And, is the poverty rate, and,
Mm-hmm.
balance of payment, right? What direction is going, right? So all those things
Yeah.
are very important, indicators for you to make decisions, right? Then the
Yes. Yeah.
social environment, right? In the society, what's happening? Yeah. So what sort of, directions the society is heading, changes happening in the social environment. So all those things you will have to, factor in when you are doing your analysis, right? We'll say, like, if we see a social unrest, right, in a country, so it could, turn to sometimes negative or positive to your business, right?
Yeah.
Certain social unrest have turned as positives to certain industries, like, communities. If you can
Yeah.
remember in Sri Lanka, what happened in 2019, after the Easter bomb attack, like, so people started boycotting all the, like, Muslim retailers, right?
Yes.
Products, right?
Yeah.
Because, there's an unrest from society
Yeah.
itself, right? So which has, um, of course, like, turned against some of the businesses, right?
Yeah.
Um, and it has again positively impacted some of the businesses, right? And
Yeah.
so
Yeah. Yeah.
these
Of
things
course.
could happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then the yeah. So if you take technological environment, so what advancements happening in the technological environment? Classic case is like, even today the Toyota, right? Previously Nokia, the Kodak, right? So it could happen to anyone. Yeah. So how fast the technology is changing,
Yes.
how soon you can adapt that technology to your industry is very
Yeah.
much important, right? Um, electronic vehicles, like, selling faster than the globally, and China has become the biggest
Number
car
one.
manufacturer today already, so within a very short span of time. So
Yes.
people wouldn't have even
Impossible.
imagined this, like, about 2, 3 years ago, right? And
Yeah.
mobile phone industry, like, um, China and India, like, taken
Mm.
everything. I think it's a surprise, like, those two countries already, enjoying more than 50% production, right?
Yeah.
So how things are changing in the technological environment, right?
Yeah.
Then the other one is environmental factors. Yeah, natural disasters, changes in the weather pattern, right? So you as a organization always keep an eye. So this is something like, we have not paid attention previously. Now it has become a no. We know it's predictable.
Yeah.
Yeah, when, like, so we'll have the next sort of, the tremor, the earthquake, right? Or maybe cyclone, right? So all
Yeah.
those things now predictable, right? So therefore you have to keep an eye, have to, consider them when you are planning. So when you can have plan A, B, C, right? So this has to be there in your checklist, right? Legal
Yeah.
environment, lot of things happening, lot of things are changing, right? With the technology changes, right? Digital economy that everyone is talking about, globally is connected. So there has to be changes in the legal framework as well,
Yeah.
globally, right? And also countries. So what changes happening and how those changes are going to impact you is what you need to always monitor, right? And take
Yes.
into considerations when you are doing your planning. Okay.
Yeah.
So these are the things in the environment, external environment, that you have to assess
Cover
and have that considerations given to all these factors.
factors.
Yeah, and discuss, have plans in place. Okay,
Mm.
all right.
Yeah.
Moving on to something called industry analysis. Yeah, this is called Porter's five forces. Industry analysis. Yeah, there's a person called Michael Porter. He introduced this model to the world. From this model, we would be able to assess the industry rival or industry competitiveness, right? So
Yeah.
how competitive the industry is, right? So he has introduced five forces, five main forces, right? Okay. The number one is threat from new entrants. Threat from new entrants, right? Which is like, as I explained previously, how easy for you to, enter to the market.
Yeah.
How difficult for you to enter to the market, right? So if it is easy, no entry barriers at all,
Yeah.
at least like no easy entry, and you have to expect a lot of, players in the market,
Yes.
meaning high competition.
Uh-huh.
Market proliferations could happen at any point in time, right?
Yeah.
And your profitability will get impacted any point
Yes.
in time. Yeah, so that's what you call threat coming from the new entrants.
Entrance.
Then threat of substitute products. The meaning, okay, so there is no that much of threats from the new entrants, but already there are substitute products. When you go out of stock, when you are not available in the market, consumers always do have choices. They would think
Okay.
about substitute products.
Okay, okay.
For example, like, if you don't have bread in the marketplace, you would go buy rice.
Great, definitely.
If you don't have butter in the market, you will go buy margarine,
Yeah,
right? The substitute products, right? So the more the substitute products that you have in the marketplace, more the competition. Yeah. So then the third one is bargaining power of suppliers.
yeah,
Meaning, like, so how many suppliers that you have in the industry? Do we
yeah.
have many number of suppliers? Without
Yes.
any hassle, will I be able to source my
Rely.
raw materials?
Okay.
Right? So when you have, like, more suppliers, meaning their bargaining power is low.
Yeah.
They will not be able to bargain, right?
Yes.
However, if there are only few suppliers, their bargaining power is really high.
Hi.
Few suppliers, more players, or more manufacturers. In that case, like, so their bargaining power is really high. We will not be able to buy or negotiate for a competitive price from the suppliers.
Yes.
Then the fourth one is bargaining power of buyers. In
Bias.
certain industries, there are many buyers, like fast moving consumer goods, many buyers, right? So then they don't have any sort of bargaining power.
Yeah.
However, if you are in B2B business, there could be, like, only one or two buyers, their bargaining power could be really high. For
Hi. Yeah.
example, we'll say, um, so if you are supplying something for Sri Lanka Railway, right? There is only one buyer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you are supplying, we'll say, um, uh, what we call, like, uh, those, like, railway lines, some, equipment.
Mm.
I mean, only one buyer, right? So you have to, probably rely on, or maybe comply with their requirement, right? So they have higher bargaining power.
Yeah.
All right. So by looking at all those things, you can determine the industry competitiveness or industry rivalry, right?
Right.
So the Porter has introduced this model for us to clearly understand what industry that you are in, and
Yeah.
based on the industry competitiveness, what sort of actions that you should take. Right?
Yes.
For example, since we are in strategic marketing course, this is a very important thing, right? We'll say you have, like, a lot of threats coming from new entrants, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So then you will have to be always watchful about your profitability, because new entrants would come in a lower price
Yes.
most of the time, because they know
Yes.
when they have a penetration strategy, they can gain little bit of market share,
Yes.
right? So they are always trying to gain share from the market leader, right?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
when you are playing in an industry like that, your strategy has to be, your marketing strategy has to be always be differentiated.
Yeah.
Your offering, you have to be differentiated. Your activities, you have to be differentiated, right? And you have to have, like, you always innovate things. Yeah. You have to be, stay at least three steps away, ahead from the
Wait.
competition.
Yes.
Yeah. So that is the sort of, strategic marketing decision you will have to make.
Yes.
Companies which are doing frequent, relaunches, companies which are doing frequent, new product introductions to the market, are the companies which are winning, which are knowing what they are doing, and they know
Yes.
the rivalry coming from the new entrants is really high, then you'll have to keep on investing. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you take today's environment, you know, since China is, producing
BYD.
everything under the sun and moon, right?
Yeah.
Competition is so stiff, right? Very intense competition, right? So therefore, we have to always think about as to how we are going to differentiate ourselves, right?
Yeah.
And if there are threats, more threats in the uh, in the industry, right, from the substitute products, then what you need to do, your action has to be always demand fulfillment. You need to have a continuous supply, right? You have to make sure that your supply is consistent, your service is consistent, you have a better service to your customers than the substitute products, right? It's not about the price in that case, it's always about the service.
Yes, sir.
Then your strategy has to be devised based on the service improvement. Yeah.
Servicing.
Similarly, if you take the bargaining power of buyers, if it is high, right?
Mm.
So the buyer can easily switch the supplier, manufacturer, because buyer has the bargaining power. So in that case, what you need is like, you have to improve your service, right? You should be able to give an outstanding service to the buyer, right? Unmatchable, unmissable service to the buyer, right? So this is what you need to do. Okay. Bargain power supplier, if that is high, so again, like, so it's a relationship management, right? How are you going to build that PR, the relationship with buyer, right? Because he is so much important. Your entire business is rely or dependent on the supplier. In that case, how you like, have that collaboration, how you have the sort of, relationship, right? And how you make the transactions effectively. And so all those things are impacting your existence or the sustainability of your organization, right? This is a
Yeah.
beautiful model. So when you're doing our planning, we have to, always consider the industry competitiveness, right? Right.
Yes.
Okay. So next one is about the competitor analysis, right? The competitor analysis. There, there are main two things that we have to do. One is point of differences, PODs. The other one is point of parities. Okay. We'll say you have a lot of competitors in the industry, but there may be few competitors who are threatening you. Not that all competitors are threatening. There could be few competitors who are threatening you, who have been gaining market share and also influencing your profitability, right? And real threats. Then you need to analyze those competitors thoroughly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you are analyzing them, you have to get into their shoes,
Yes.
right? You have to get into there. You have to act like, all right, when you are planning, you have to act like the competitor, how they think, right? You have like, different departments, same structure you create. This is a bit of a scenario. So
Yes.
you then
Predictions.
plan out, like, how competitors are thinking, right? Then they are thinking about like, when they are planning, they are thinking about you. right? Right? For them, you are the competitor. For you, they are the competitor, right? Then you are getting to their shoes and think and come up with a big plan to share, gain share from you, right?
Mm.
So then you know, okay, how they are thinking, and then you plan now to counter, right? To counter what competitors are planning to do, right? You don't know exactly what they are doing, but you know, since you have got into their shoes and you started thinking like them, probably you can, uncover or discover,
Perspective.
yeah, correct, some of the strategies that they would think about, right? So there,
Yeah.
what are the point of parity? So at the moment, they have and I have the same thing that I have and they have, right?
Yeah.
Right? When you are, giving the product to consumers, right? Basic benefit, right? What you give, what competitor gives, are they similar? Packaging, similar packaging, right?
Mm.
Safety of food, similar safety level. Yeah. So how many point of parities that we have? More the point of parity means more competition, right? Then what are the point of differences, right? Probably like, the price would be a difference. Maybe value-added services could be differences. Maybe like, your uh, key ingredient that you are using could be a,
Different.
yeah. And your human resource, like, your service would be a differentiator, right? So likewise, you need to identify what are the point of differences, point of
Mm.
parities, right?
Clarity.
When
Okay.
you have more point of differences, meaning you will definitely have a good competitive
Unique.
advantage. Yeah. If you don't
Mm.
have point of differences, as an organizer, marketer, you have to create point of differences. Otherwise, you are not moving the needle. This is what we are doing in marketing. This is why we are doing this analysis, because we know, okay, right. If you, right, you have to create them continuously, build on, and, have this, gap with your competition every time. Yeah. So these are the sort of, analysis that you are doing. By doing all these analysis, you have to determine what are the opportunities that we have. So that's about, like, the analysis or situational analysis that we do, right? So at the end of the analysis, you should have one piece of paper, right? In
Mhm.
that, like, what are the key opportunities for your organizations and what are the issues that you need to address, right? You will
Yeah.
list down many opportunities and you will list down many number of issues,
Yes.
but you are not going to explore all the opportunities. Neither you are going to address all the issues. It's practically impossible and waste of time and effort also. Then what you got to do is, from the list that you have, the opportunity list, you have to give the value or assess the value to each and every opportunity. In other words, size the opportunity, right? Size the opportunity. How much would this opportunity be for
Okay.
your organization, right? So likewise, to size it. Once it is done, you rank the opportunities based on the size and the strategically and the strategic importance, right? Size and the strategic importance. Right? So you rank it. Yeah. You have a ranking, then you select few opportunities for coming years. We'll say 3 to 4 opportunities you are going to focus, right? So I'll give you
Okay.
an example. Like we'll say you are in FMCG industry. We'll say you
Mm-hmm.
are producing toothpaste, right? So
Okay.
your consumers, when you do the consumer analysis, you have identified that consumers are having a need, right? Or seeking a solutions for sensitive teeth.
Mm-hmm.
They are complaining about their teeth or tooth sensitivity, and they are willing to pay a higher price
Yeah.
for a better solutions.
Yeah.
So that's
Different.
the opportunity that you have.
Like
Then you are
sensorizing.
like sensor, like then you are analyzing or you are sizing the opportunity. Okay, how many such sensitive tooth cases you have in Sri Lanka,
Mm-hmm.
right? So there are certain, sources like, Department of Census or maybe, FDI, dental associations like, or maybe health ministry has some sort of data which
Data.
will give you some idea about
Like
sensitivity.
sensitivity.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so the number of people that are there. Or maybe you can do a small research. Identify based on like sample that you've selected, like you come to an estimate. Okay, this number of people in Sri Lanka having sensitive tooth tissue. We'll say 2 million. Then you will say you ask consumers how much value you are going to pay for this. And they
Yeah.
will say, okay, 1,000 rupees, so something for 100 gram. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then you size it and say, if we introduce a sensitive toothpaste, we can generate 500 million in this market, something like that.
Okay.
Right? So that's very, I think, in terms of value, substantial. In terms of strategic importance, is also substantial because you are in toothpaste market. It's very relevant for your market. And, if you don't introduce a sensitive toothpaste, someone else would come and capture that space.
That space. Yeah.
Might as well capture it, or you should not let others to do that. Yeah. So that
Yes.
is, see, so this is how you identify the opportunities and size.
Okay.
Yeah. If you take same like, toothpaste manufacturer, right? And there is an opportunity for we'll say like, for a toothpaste which will help you to combat nicotine, um, whatever, like, nicotine harm that
The impact
there
of,
is,
yeah,
yeah, impact
using
of that,
cigarettes.
like combating nicotine impact, right?
Yeah.
Right. So it's a good product, right? There could be a good market also. However, there is a social taboo about nicotine,
Yes.
right?
Mm.
And when you do the legal and political environment analysis, you would see there is a big counter campaign from the government about nicotine usage, something like that, right? And
Restrictions.
yeah, restrictions, and in future the market would slowly go down.
Yeah.
Today the opportunity is big. So in terms of the size, of course you have a very good business size. However,
Yes.
strategical, if you take strategic importance, it's not a good opportunity. So likewise, so you take the size of the opportunity and strategic importance. Based on that, you are ranking, and you select most important opportunities for you. Similarly, you do the analysis, ranking for issues as well, then decide few issues that you are going to resolve. You will ever be like you won't be able to resolve all the issues that you have in the company ever. Yeah, yeah. Because so this is why people are there in the organization, because every day there will be a new issue, right? But there are some key issues which are impacting your value generations, value creations in the organization. So those issues you have to address. You have to prioritize those issues. Yeah, right. So this is what you do once the analysis is completed. Prioritize your opportunities, prioritize your issues. Next is devising strategies. You'll say you have now opportunities, right?
Yeah.
Sensitive toothpaste, introduce, right? So that's the opportunity. Then you have to devise the strategy. Just because you have an opportunity, you will not be able to generate value. You need a strategy. You
Yeah.
need a long-term strategy, right? So that's what we do next. Strategy. Okay, what is a strategy? I think we learned the other day about strategy, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a strategy is in a simple term, giant leap that you are making, right? Giant leap, like it's not a small giant leap. It will help you in the longer run. Yeah. So that's about the strategy, right? So strategy has three levels in corporate planning, organizational planning. We have three levels of strategy formulations, right?
Yeah.
The bottom level is the operational level strategy, which are like people who are executing things, right? So they have strategies.
Yeah.
The business level strategy, mainly functional, right? Different departments, they do have strategies. Like, for
First
example,
one.
what is marketing strategy? What are supply chain strategies, finance strategies, right? So those
Oh,
are the business level strategies. Then the topmost level is the corporate level, right? Corporate level means as organizations, the top management, what sort of strategies that they are formulating, right? So I'll give you few examples, right? Or I'll let you to give some examples, like, for corporate level strategy, can you give me some examples? Yeah, imagine you have an ambitions of doubling the size of the business, right? As an organization, your stakeholders or shareholders pushing you and pressurizing you about the profitability and the growth of the organization, right?
Okay.
Then you have to grow. And they are blaming about the business size. Right? So then you have a sort of goal to double the size of the business.
Okay.
It's a corporate level objective.
Okay.
Then for you to double the size of the business, what sort of strategic actions that you could deploy is what you need to decide. And you could think about, like, right, for me to double the business, what are the options available for me? Number one, I can increase the market share, right? I have
Okay.
market share today, let's say 50%, and I can I take it up to 100%, then I am doubling the business, right? That's option number one. Option number two, can I do a sort of forward integration? Meaning, I am a supplier to a manufacturer. Can I start my own manufacturing?
Yes.
Right? That will add
Yeah.
value to your organization.
Yeah.
So I'm a manufacturer. Can I start a retail chain?
Yes.
Right? So the
Yeah.
integration. Or can I, like, I am in printing industry. Can I, do a, we'll say, the media, television, right?
Uh,
So you are getting into a different industry,
Yeah.
right? Horizontal integration. Yeah. Different, So like Haley's. Haley's has agro. Haley's
Yes.
has hotels.
Mm-hmm.
Haley's has IT. Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm going to, then you can think about, can I buy an existing company?
Yeah.
Can I buy an existing company? Yeah. Or you could think about, can I merge with another company? So that will also, I'll be big, right? So those are
Yeah.
the corporate level strategy.
Yeah.
So let's move on to business level strategy, right? Marketing department. So
Okay.
marketing department would decide, okay, I will do a brand extension. So I have a brand, very powerful brand, right? We'll say Kiehl's, right? Kiehl's is a powerful brand, right? Kiehl's has Kiehl's fresh food.
Yes.
Can I introduce Kiehl's frozen food? Yeah, so your
Okay.
marketing department deciding extension. Yeah, so those are business level strategy. Yeah, similarly, like finance department can think of like reducing
The
the
cost.
raw material costs. Yeah,
Yeah.
so that a deal or bargaining with suppliers. So maybe like you are cutting down certain elements. Yeah, it
Okay.
could be a business level strategy.
Okay.
So operational level strategy would be like more executional, right? Where
Move.
we'll say kill super, right? So operationally, like so they want to add more consumers to or invite more consumers to their retail outlets, right? Or you can go near them, so you go expand your outlet base, right? Currently, you are only in, we'll say, Colombo. You are going to outstations, suburban areas. Likewise, these operational strategies. Or you can, think of introducing online platforms for your consumers, right?
Yeah.
And your last mile, so you partner with a courier agency, someone who does last mile effectively. So those are the kind of operational level strategies. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the marketing department has to get involved in all these three levels. That's the
Yeah.
basic, right?
Yeah.
In an organization, both marketing and finance department, these are the two departments very crucial, right? And influencing all these three. As you know, like
Yes.
finance department, without finance department, you will not be able to do anything because they are the people who are releasing funds end of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Taking decisions.
Yes. Are you clear up to now?
Up to now, yes, sir.
All right. Right. Um, so this like uh something like we are going to cover in deep, right? Delivery strategy and the emergence strategy, right? So let me briefly explain to you about these two strategies. There are
Okay.
two types of strategies: deliberate or the emergent strategies. So
Okay.
deliberate is so you are going through the planning process, come up with strategies, deliberate
Okay.
strategies. Yeah. Then you have emergent strategy, which are like unconscious. Maybe like suddenly you will get that idea, the strategy, right? Ad hoc, right? Unplanned, and so those are like what we call emergent strategies, right? In organizations, of course, you do have deliberate strategies. Without deliberate strategies, you will not be able to move forward, right? However, emergent strategy is something like maybe some individual managers like they come up with certain strategies, but it's not quite famous in the organization, right? Because sometimes like it's more individualistic, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but there has to be a mechanism to discover or take these kind of strategies to the surface of the organization, right?
Yeah.
There has to
Yeah.
be a sort of mechanism there, right? Okay.
Mm.
All right, so I think we have discussed about the marketing strategy is more business strategy, right? You can, how strategy development and everything. We discuss models, right? We have in marketing different models for us to develop strategies, right? So that we will discuss later, right? Okay. Up to now, any question?
No, sir.
Right. So from here onwards, like we are talking about strategies, right? So we will discuss about portfolio strategy. We will discuss about segmentation, targeting, positioning,
Yeah.
and also product strategies, the price, place, promote strategies, right? And also what are growth strategies, right? There is a model called Ansoff Matrix, like so there are how you are going to grow a business, what are the strategic options available, and then we talk about acquisitions and mergers, right?
Yeah.
So these are things that we are going to discuss, right? I think since those are critical parts, right? So let's stop here. Okay, all right, all the best.